And the topic is some NBA players choosing not to play a staying on sports? And this is a topic I kind of went back and forth about, and me and Marco spoke about it. And Marco was like, "Hey, man, just talk about it. If it's on your chest, if you feel like it's something you need to get off your chest, then say it." And I'm gonna say it. So y'all know that the NBA is trying to have a restart, sometime around Christmas, and they're trying to have a season's a little bit shorter by 10 games, a 72 game season. That's also when the TV deals kick in. So they're trying to have a shorter season and try to make up ground so they can start the following year on time. And there's been a little bit of pushback by some players around the league, saying that, listen, it's too soon. It's too soon. The NBA season just ended. It's way too soon. Can we start a little bit later? Some players want to start on MLK Day. They're saying Christmas is too soon. And Stephen A. Smith came on TV saying, hey, listen, if you guys decide to start the season 2 weeks later, you're going to possibly risk losing hundreds of millions of dollars. And they're going to reopen collective bargaining agreements. And then now the league, the owners are going to say, okay, you guys are costing us to lose this money. Now we got to figure out a new way for us to start making back our money. You're not just going to screw us. And some people out there were saying, well, I mean, what do you expect, man? You got to give these guys some time off to relax and get their bodies under control, and then come back and this and it threw me off the rails. Probably is because I'm a hard worker and I don't like people that make excuses. Let me tell you why this thing turned me off. Essentially, what some of these players are saying is that they don't want to go to work on time. That's essentially what some of them are saying. We can cut it any way you want to cut it. You can slice it any way you feel like you want to slice it. Essentially, they say, I don't want to go to work this early, man. I don't feel like it. I'm tired. Now, let me ask you guys. Is basketball a contact sport like football, like in the NFL? Is it a contact sport? Where you can understand why these guys play one game a week and maybe 16 games a season? Is it on the same level? No one is going to compare basketball to football. No one is going to even compare that to like racing, like Formula One racing and Moto. You're not even going to compare that because people risk losing their lives in those sports. Literally, you get into a car accident. That's it. People have died playing that sport. In those sports. We're not going to compare it to those sports. There's no life or death scenario here. But for the thought that some players are saying that it's too soon to start, it's a slap in the face of anyone out there that works hard every single day and has to show up. It is a slap in the face. First of all, let's talk about it. We had the global pandemic that took place in March. The league shut down in March. I think up until that point, they played 50-something games right after All-Star break. They had about a 3-month hiatus from playing. There were no games. There were no team practices, no team flights. Everybody was at home or wherever they were. There were no games. At that point, 3 months off. Other people around the world, they were also at home, either because they got laid off or because the government, or they had to work from home and the government forced them to stop. Number one. Number two, you had 3 months off, which is like an off season. You came back. Of the 30 teams, 22 showed up. 8 stayed at home. The Golden State Warriors didn't go, and other teams, they didn't go. They stayed at home. The Pistons and all that, they stayed at home. It's only the teams that were in the playoffs and teams that had the chance to make it in the playoffs. 8 regular season games go by. Those remaining 6 teams go home. Now you're at 16, right? So almost half of the league is at home. Almost half of the league is at home. Then you start going through the rounds and teams start going home. Clippers been home for almost 2 months. The only 2 teams that stayed in the bubble long were the Lakers and the Heat. And if you want to make an argument that LeBron should have a rest because I have no problem with that, because the guy is a workaholic and the guy's older and he's been playing for longer. But please help me understand, what is the excuse for these guys? What's your excuse? Danny Green talking about, oh, it's too soon. Dude, you were coming off the bench. Were you playing 30 minutes a game? What is your reasoning for that? You're getting paid millions of dollars a year. You have access to some of the best doctors and medical staff in the world, because these teams are going to pay the money to have them. It's not like as if you're living oh my God, I'm living in a tough situation. You're multimillionaires, and you're essentially saying that you don't want to go to work. We need to rest some more. What about all the other people that don't have that luxury? What about all those other people? Do you and I have that luxury? Let's talk about business owners, for example. I'm an entrepreneur. Some of you guys watching these videos are entrepreneurs. Some of you guys are working professionals, but let's talk about business owners. People in my family are entrepreneurs, my dad and others. Entrepreneurs work 365. We may take off, 2 days, 2 to 3 weeks a year? Probably. Max. These are people that have to pay salaries. If you don't work, if you don't go out there and make it happen, salaries don't get paid. And they're out there working. Businesses that were shut down, that could not generate income due to the global lockdown, they couldn't even make money. And they were still trying to find a way to pay salaries. Trust me, I'm speaking from things that I know. And you're telling me that you don't want to go back to play because it's 2 weeks too soon and you guys are tired. I think that is absurd. Who loves this? Who can truly say that you love to do something and is looking for ways to get away from doing it? That's why some of these guys are not playing because they love basketball. They're doing it because it's a bag. Simple and plain. I think is a slap in the face of hardworking people that don't have the choice but to show up every single day. For some of these guys, not all of them, some of them, they say, oh man, we're too tired. Oh, we're too tired. What are y'all talking about that you don't want to go back to work? And some people in the comment section are going to disagree. Hey man, listen. These guys are the reason that these owners are making all the money. First of all, no, they're not. They're part of the product. The NBA players and the organizations and everything goes hand in hand. If you don't believe me, you go write the best book in the world or go create the best software, but if you can't sell it, no one's going to have it. No one's going to buy it. If you don't know how to market it, if you don't know how to package it, no one is going to have it. These teams create a platform. Some people say, well, the players okay, so let the players go start their own league. You think that people working in organizations, the staff, the vendors, all of it doesn't go all hand in hand to create one product that you see. You think it's just the players? Of course not. You think they're not other forces in the league? You think presidents of teams and all these different things, they have no value? What are you talking about? It's a very myopic way of looking at things. So for me, I was totally disgusted and I was just completely turned off. So what I want to know from you guys is, were you guys happy about that? Were you proud to hear that, oh, these multi-millionaires don't want to show up to work? Were you happy about that? Do you have that same luxury? I mean, do you? And in sports, you have signed contracts. So whether or not you perform or you don't want to perform, you're still getting paid. There's so many instances of that. Guys out of the league still getting paid money because of deals that they signed years ago. So for me, I thought it was a really bad look. So that's what I think. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me on that topic as well? I know I spoke for a very long time today, but I had a lot of topics that I wanted to get off my chest. And I figured, hey, let's just let me just get it off all at once. So What I want to know from you guys is, do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to subscribe to our Twitter accounts, which are linked in the description below, so we can keep the conversation going and stay connected. Me and Mark are going to have ours down there, so we can definitely connect on that level. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day.